As I started speaking, what was the first thing you noticed about me? Was it my charming smile, my charismatic personality, or was it my accent? Having lived in the US now for almost 3 years, I realized that for a lot of people, it is my accent. I come from Pakistan, which is why I have an unmistakable South Asian accent. I've been fascinated by accents for many years. First, because, well, we all have one. Second, I feel strongly about how a person's unique accent can trigger people's conscious and unconscious biases and lead to accent discrimination. Research has shown that we are less likely to believe something if it is said with a foreign accent. These negative judgments are the result of the additional effort that our brains must make to process foreign speech. Our brains then shift the blame for this additional effort onto the truthfulness of the speaker, and it can trigger frustration. About a year ago, I was on the phone with my health insurance company for some information I needed before an upcoming trip. I had been on the call for almost an hour, hopping from one call agent to another without any solution to my problem. I was becoming more and more impatient. I was then redirected for the 4th time. And as the new call agent started speaking, I instantly noticed a distinct East Asian accent, perhaps Chinese or Korean, and I exploded internally. I don't need this accent right now. I didn't say this to her, of course, but that's what I thought. My frustration was caused by my complete inability to understand anything she was saying. And then I stopped. At that point, it hit me. I was doing exactly what I've been so strongly opposed to. I was allowing someone's accent to influence how I saw them, how I listened to them, how I treated them. That day, I was able to name what I felt deeply about for many years: accent empathy. I define accent empathy as thinking deeper about how a person's unique accent is a manifestation of their lived experience, of their cultural identity, of their humanity. Growing up in Pakistan, I saw firsthand how perfecting your English proficiency was seen as much more than just language acquisition. It was a symbol of status, of ability, of sophistication. This is the legacy of 200 years of British colonialism. Mastery of spoken English was what separated the colonial masters from their Indian subjects. This gave rise to the Brown Sahibs, Indians who yearned to imitate the British in language, dress, or lifestyle, because doing so conferred patronage from the colonial government. Even years after the British left the Indian subcontinent, this English-centered indoctrination was still alive and well. I grew up seeing adults and children giggle at and even openly insult people who spoke broken English or mispronounced an English word. And the opposite was also true. Speaking fluent English with perfect pronunciation and good accents gave you prestige. My high school debate coach once said to our entire team, "All of you need to fix your accents except Mansoor." I'll be lying if I said I didn't feel immense pride at that point. It may seem to be misplaced pride in retrospect, but then, in that moment, my pride was real. Yet this reinforced within me a certain toxic complex, an insecurity. I had to protect my accent. As I traveled to places outside of Pakistan, I began to realize that mastery of a language or accent is not a sign of competence. I began to accept my accent as part of who I am, of my identity. Then I came to the US and suddenly found myself in the odd position of the guy with the different foreign accent. Sometimes, when I spoke in Zoom meetings, I was met with complete silence. The group, all native English speakers would move on to speaking amongst themselves. Why was this happening? Did they disagree with the substance of what I'd said? Was it Zoom fatigue? Was it my accent? I could only speculate. But this did take a toll on me. I felt overlooked, dismissed, invisible. Fortunately for me, by this stage of my life, I genuinely began to cherish my unique accent. I'm not making a political statement of any sort. I truly cherish my Pakistani accent as a symbol of my life journey and my identity. I value it as an expression of love for my family, my grandparents, my home. But accent discrimination is real. According to research at Curtin University in Australia, there's a hierarchy that places American, British, and Australian English accent at the top, views European accented English as cute or stylish, but Asian or African accents as ugly and unpleasant. The UK is known to view specific accents as working class versus sophisticated. Former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher had to lose her Lincolnshire accent to sound more posh. In the US, the story is a bit more nuanced. Laura Rivera, in her book Pedigree, writes that accents play a role in shaping recruitment at elite firms. According to Rivera, interviewers frequently questioned the polish of foreign students of all races, complaining that most candidates' accents made them difficult to understand. Exceptions were those with pure British, German, or Scandinavian accents. This is the accent hierarchy at work. There's also anti-black racism in linguistics, something that even former First Lady Michelle Obama had to contend with. And she's a Harvard-educated lawyer. But I believe that we owe it to ourselves and to each other to put in that little extra effort, to move beyond any cognitive and intellectual laziness that might be stifling us. So the next time you find yourself struggling to engage with someone having an unfamiliar accent, I challenge you to pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, why am I having such a reflexive reaction? Is it just because the accent is different from my own? Think about what your accent says about you, your family, your festivals, your aspirations, your struggles, your identity. Do you really want to rob someone of the same just so you can save a few seconds of mental energy? That, to me, is accent empathy in action. And if we truly aspire to change lives and change organizations in an increasingly interconnected world, we need accent empathy. Thank you.